And welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Rusty, and this is my channel where I talk about my favorite movies, mostly horror, mess with my hair, and my favorite music, mostly metal. And welcome to Panic Button Massacre at 30,000 Feet. Yes, indeed. It's another airplane movie. Now, Panic Button, the social network of shocks, a chiller so timely, gripping, and smart. I agree. Catfish crashes into Saw at 30,000 feet. The best British horror in years. It's good. It's good. So, yeah. This was directed by Chris Crowe. It was written by Chris Crowe, Fraser Lee, and John Shackleton. It stars Scarlett, Alice Johnson, Jack Gordon, Michael Jibson, and who else? Elen Rhys. That's Gwen. Okay, so this movie opens with Jo dropping off her daughter at her mom's house, and because she's going on some kind of trip. And we see, they say their goodbyes, and the mom and the little girl walks into a room, when all of a sudden this masked man jumps out with a balaclava on his head and shoots her with the silencer, fills that woman full of holes, and then boom, you're left to wonder, oh, what the fuck was that? So, we then get to meet them as they arrive at the airport. We have Jo, whom we just met. We have Max, Gwen, and Dave. Dave is such a goof ass. But, so they meet at this airport, and we kind of get a little taste of what this is about. There is a social networking that's supposed to be, Facebook. It's called All for what is this social network called? It's their version of Facebook, but they have a name for it. All for You. I think that's it. All for You. But anyway, this social networking platform held a contest, and they were told that anyway. These four people, their profiles were chosen for a free luxury VIP trip on a private plane to New York City. So they have arrived to, enjoy this beautiful contest that they've won. So they all four arrive at the airport. They won a contest for a VIP flight on Depart Airlines, DEPPART, which is backwards for trapped, TRAPPED. Get it? Depart Airlines, trapped. So yeah, that's kind of neat. So they're going to New York, and they get on there, and it's a beautiful plane. They were taken out to the plane in this big stretch limousine. It all looks very, very kosher. They get on this plane where they are, there's the cabin, then there's the pilot, which you can't get into it. There's a bathroom, a loo, and it's a beautiful, beautiful plane. They kind of get to know each other. And there's each chair has this tablet monitor, on it. And so once they get to know each other a little bit, they are told, the voice comes on, welcomes them, tells them about the contest and the wonderful prizes that they will receive. Diamonds from Tiffany's, luxury cruises, and all this kind of stuff, if they, participate correctly in this game that they are going to be playing. Now, this game is going to take place on those consoles, and that's what they've won, is not only this VIP trip to New York, but they have also going to get all of these other prizes by participating in this game. So round 1 comes up, and it's called Truth or Tell or something like that. And they are asked 3 questions. Now, Joe, and they're kind of like personal questions, like, you can imagine personal questions. So, like, how much do you drink a week? And how many times have you had sex, in the last month? Things like that. Pretty personal questions. Now, Joe gets asked one about a video. They show a video, and it's a very, very graphic video of some guy with like a, having a hood put on him and then like being shot. It was very graphic. And she's like, I don't know what that is, So after she answers the 3 questions, the guy comes on and tells her that she only answered one of them correct. And then he like busts out. Outs her. And it's like, this video, you watched it at a certain date. Not only did you watch it at a certain date, but you watched it 5 times, and you shared it with 5 friends, this awful graphic murder video. So of course everybody is looking at her like, what kind of creep are you? So she's very humiliated. They do the same thing, Gwen, she is like shamed by questions about a profile that she had, a sex quiz that she took. Very, very, so they're like going, what the fuck? How do you even know this stuff, right? Dave is like really humiliated by his. Max, he doesn't get any of them right. So they then do one called, so after that round is over, everybody is humiliated. You know what I mean? Max had like bought genital wart cream. That Dave guy, he had his scrotum pierced. So they're left to deal with all 4 of them being extremely shamed by some questions and answers, because not only did you have these embarrassing questions asked of you, but if you answered them wrong, he told you the truth about them. So they're left to kind of deal with that, right? And they're like, this is some weird shit, right? So then they start round 2, which is kiss and tell. And what are they like behind closed doors, right? So again, it's the same kind of stuff. Really embarrassing questions. Dave, it shows like on the screen of him watching very questionable, damn near pedo little videos of underage girls and stuff like that. So the second round, they even find out that like Gwen is a virgin, yet online she pretends to be this 50 Shades of Grey kinky sex girl when actually she's a virgin. So it's like all their shit is coming out in front of each other, So you have a bunch of very, very uncomfortable people, and Max gets so upset about it. He's like trying to get into the pilot's thing, and he's trying to like use the pad to like contact for help and stuff like that. And that's when it says, that you will sit down, or that you will be punished. And everybody's like, what? And so it says, since you stood up and done that and broke the rules, you have to be punished. And so he tells them, the voice tells him that one of his friends from his friends list will be chosen at random. And it kind of goes down his friends list, and it chooses some guy. And then it shows a video. The video comes up of someone like sneaking into a house. Now it looks so much like unfriended dark web. That's what it looks like, So you see this person break into a house, go up to the couch, and the guy is sitting there playing, Xbox or whatever, and he's like, and they like blow, he falls back on the chair, and the guy put a sawed-off shotgun right to his head and like blows his head off, and it's like, so they are freaking out. These four people are freaking out because of what happened, and they're like, if you break the rules, if you do not do what you're supposed to do, this is the kind of shit that will go down. So they have definitely, found themselves in a situation that is not what they thought it was. So Max gets up again and tries more shit. Because, we'll find out later. You'll understand why he's doing, or why he knows about this stuff. But he gets up and he tries to access the flight data recorder, through the wiring, because Joe has been noticing that she checked the weather before they left, and she's like, this isn't supposed to be going on. Look outside. This does not look like, we should be way out over the Atlantic, and that's not what things look like. So not only are they in this situation, but they're not even going the right way. She's like, we are not headed to New York. We are not over the Atlantic. So that's why Max is trying to figure out, what's going on. Now, he does manage to hack in to the flight thing, which shows them that they are on their way to Norway, with the destination marker being Oslo. Now, Oslo is the headquarters of this social network. It's the actual headquarters of this All For You social network. So, I keep trying to see if I've got that name right, but it doesn't really matter. You know what it is. It's Facebook. So, or Instagram. Oh, actually, it looks more like Facebook. So, now that they've figured all of this out, they're, of course, really, really scared. And the third round starts, and Joe is asked to come into the bathroom alone. That they, so she goes, reluctantly, of course. She goes into the loo, where she is told to put on headphones, and then she is told that she is going to be given an assignment, and that if she does not complete this assignment, and then the video pops up, and it says, we will kill your daughter. And her daughter is on video, sleeping on a bed, and she flips the fuck out. And she comes out crying and sits down, and you're not allowed to tell anyone else about your assignment or this. Well, Gwen is then called into the loo, where she is shown a video of her sister sitting in a chair, tied up, having petrol poured all over her. If you don't do what I tell your assignment, she will be burned alive. They bring in Dave, show him his fiancée, same thing. She's hanging from a chair. If you don't do what you are told, the chair will be kicked out from under her. She's gone. Then Max, he's taken in there, and he has shown a picture of his brother tied to a bed with somebody holding a machete. If you don't do what, the assignment, this is what's going to happen. Okay. So you've gotten the idea of what's going on now in this round. So all they can do now, and of course you don't know what their assignment is, right? It couldn't tell the audience that. So you don't know what these 4 people have been told to do. Kill each other? What? We don't know. So not only are they like all upset out there now, everybody is like really upset, but then the dude comes on and tells them that Max had made a really big mistake by tapping into the flight plan, because now they're going to learn the real truth. And that is that, yes, they are on their way to Oslo, where this private plane will be crashed into the headquarters of this social network. You're already dead. You're not getting out of here. The only thing that you can make use of your life now is to save your loved ones. You are dead, Joe. But if you want to save your daughter's life, you'll do what I said. So they're having to deal with a lot of emotional trauma right now, right? And he tells them that they have 45 minutes before it crashes, and they have to complete their stuff. Well, Altogether, that's the name of it. That's the name of the social network, Altogether. As in ALL2 Gether. So they will be crashed into the Altogether headquarters, where they will kill a bunch of other people because it's the middle of the workday. So maximum damage is what whoever this is intending on doing. Now, Max starts freaking out. When he tells this guy, because everybody keeps wondering why Max seems to be the most one intense on doing this shit, like getting out of this shit, like finding some way to help their situation. Well, he finally admits why, which also explains how he knew to do all this shit. He's not really Max. He had hacked into Max's profile, accepted the contest award, and he's not really the real Max. So everybody is like, who the fuck are you then? He's like, no, I don't have nothing to do with this. I'm just a hacker. I'll tell you what, if you're a hacker out there, pay attention. Because you could end up in some shit, right? So this poor boy that we know as Max is not even really the real Max, and he's fisting to die for this when it's supposed to have been Max. So Dave manages to get him to show him some kind of proof and takes his passport, right? Which it turns out to be true, and he tells them, he's like, he really isn't Max, he's some other guy. So after they have this little fight and all, Dave goes into the bathroom, says he's got to go to the bathroom and take a leak. And you actually then hear what his assignment was. The fucking dude already knew that this was not Max. Now, he had already punished him once. Now he punishes him again, and it shows him cut that guy's arm off, his brother. That's what set off this whole little dude. You just killed a stranger to me because I'm not really Max. So Dave's assignment had been to get some kind of ID. Because this guy wants to know who this is. You know, because he'll take care of Matt. And he tells them that on the speaker. He says, Dave is like, I did my assignment. I gave it to what you wanted. And so you can let my fiance live. And he's like, we'll see, because now I'm going to change the rules a little bit. Now I want you to kill this guy, So Dave has to go out there and kill this Max guy. Well, Max and him end up in this like gigantic fight where Max he gets hurt, but he ends up like turning the tables and actually kills Dave. So Dave is dead, like real dead, like with it was like with this like hatchet kind of thing that he killed him with. So that was Dave's assignment, was to get Max's ID and then to go out and kill Max, but Max kills him instead. Now, the voice then shows, all on the monitors, shows them that, oh well, Dave did not complete his assignment, and they watch as his fiancée is killed anyway. So she's murdered right there on the screen for all of them to see, despite the fact that poor Dave tried his best. So I guess there's no mercy, is what I'm saying, from this guy. So, Gwen, she ends up going into the bathroom trying to wash her face and all, and the voice tells her to put the headphones on. And she is told to seduce Max. That's her next assignment. She's being reassigned. So she goes out and helps Max move Dave's body, and then tries to get him in there to seduce him by telling him she wants to help with the wound, because he got wounded in the head and the shoulder fighting with Dave. So in the bathroom, in the loo, she starts trying to get him to have sex with her, and he actually starts to. And I mean, what a way to lose your virginity, right? Under threat of death, even though he's already told you you're going to die anyway. There's a one bang to go. I don't know. It's interesting. Well, while they're like bouncing around off the walls trying to join the Mile High Club, Max hits the wall a couple of times and realizes that that's the luggage compartment. In my luggage, in the luggage compartment, is my laptop. If I can get to my laptop, we'll be all right. So he ends up running out to get that hatchet thing. Gwen runs out, and she's like, I tried my assignment, and so her sister she thinks her sister is fixing to be burned alive, right? So, to try to get into the luggage compartment. So Gwen is so upset that her sister is going to die that she runs out there and tries to kill Max. So that boy ain't getting no mercy either. Dave tried to kill him. Now Gwen's trying to kill him because, you didn't screw me. So my sister's going to get burnt. And so, there you go. Well, Joe attacks Gwen trying to kill Max and ends up snapping that bitch's neck like Rambo. I mean, that was kind of like, oh, wow. I remember when I was watching it and she was like holding her and they were struggling. She's like, and I was like, ooh, okay. Little mama got some power underneath there, right? So, of course, her sister is set on fire and burned alive in front of Joe and Max. Which we know it's not Max, but That's all we've known him as, so he's going to continue to be Max. So they go back in there and they break. He cuts through the wall and gets into the luggage compartment. And the first thing that they start saying is, God, what is that smell? Right? It's like this really horrible smell. And they're looking around the luggage, him looking for his luggage so he can get his laptop. And one of the pieces of luggage that he moves, he sees a dead body. And it's Max's brother. Not his brother, because we know he's not really Max, but he recognizes him as Max's brother that was killed on screen. So he ends up screaming at Joe that, like, because they both kind of figure it out at the same time. Those videos are not live. Those videos have already been done. All of these people have already been killed, and their bodies are in the fucking luggage compartment. Twist, right? So you can imagine what Joe did, right? She's like freaking out. She's going through that luggage trying to find her baby girl, yeah? You know? And instead she finds her mother. And meanwhile, Max has managed to get back out there. And he's like doing all of his magic, you know, trying to hack in to the, you know, to the stuff. When all of a sudden, the pilot comes out. I thought the plane was automated, right? But no, there was really a pilot in there that has been in there this whole time. He's not the guy. Before you think that, he's not the guy. He instead is another victim. His family was kidnapped. And he was made to fly this plane and commit suicide, basically, by flying this plane into this building to save the life of his family. Now, he has a taser, and he's threatening Max with it, and Max is like, dude, your family is already dead. Go look in the luggage compartment. It's full of bodies. All of these things that we are being shown is fake. Oh, well, not fake, but it's not live. You're not going to save your family. They're already dead. They're in the luggage compartment. I guarantee it. Just like every single person who's been murdered on these monitors is in there, already dead. Well, the pilot, he just can't believe that, right? Because that would be accepting something. Now, he could have saved his life, though. So I see what they were doing. Everybody's already dead, that's true. But we can, at least us three can stay alive, because you're not going to say, and what about all the people in the building? Yeah? So they're trying to reason with him, but he's just not having it, because who would, want to believe that? So he ends up smashing Max's laptop, and then Joe is all over him. Joe jumps him, attacks him, and I'm like, oh, bitch is fisting to try to snap another one, you know what I mean? So he ends up managing to knock her out. While they're fighting, though, we notice that Max starts coughing, sort of like I'm doing. But Max starts coughing, and he starts sweating. And I was like, wait a second. That bitch poisoned that champagne a while ago because she had opened a bottle of champagne. This is before any of the bad stuff started, well, no, it's not before any of the bad stuff. But it was right after they had gotten their assignments. She had came out and opened a bottle of champagne and poured Max a couple of glasses, and he drank them down. Nobody else drank it. She didn't drink it. She drank from another bottle. But, so I was like, that bitch poisoned him. That was her assignment. So he starts freaking out, coughing, hacking, dying, falls in a chair and dies, while she's screaming, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And, that's how the voice convinces the pilot that they're lying. Because he's like, that voice is like, the pilot wants to believe him. But the voice then says, she poisoned Max. Who are you going to believe? Are you going to believe Poisoner Joe? Are you going to believe that I've got your family sitting here and I will kill them if you don't get your ass back in that crew cabin? So he, of course, goes in there, locks himself back in. And Joe, of course, is all alone now. And she's freaking the fuck out. Well, she goes ahead and opens the door because they're flying very, very low. She looks out the window. She looks down. She can see water. So she opens the door and she jumps out. Like, I don't know if that would have helped her or not. But she jumps out and then the plane crashes. And then you start hearing, a bunch of news reports about this private plane that had crashed off the coast of Oslo. And I'm like, oh, so I bet the pilot believed it enough to just go ahead and kill you know what I mean? I think he knew that he had been had, and rather than take more lives by running into that building, he just crashed it in the ocean. So you hear all of these news reports about this crash, all of these bodies that they're finding, and stuff like that, because you have to remember, all of these murders that they've shown on video, they were all in the luggage compartment. So they're finding a hell of a lot more than the 5 people that were supposed to be on that plane. Now we sort of flash to a room where we see the voice. We see him. And he stands up like his job is done, although it wasn't done like he wanted it. And oh wait, I skipped a very important part. Before the plane crashed, the voice filled them in by showing Joe, remember Joe's the only one left now, he showed Joe a video of a girl, and this girl is taking all of these pills. And he's like, do you know who this is? And she was like, yeah, that girl committed suicide online, live. And he's like, yes, that's correct. And I have all the comments that you made and the people you shared it with. And then he just started going off about what Dave had done, what Max had done, what Gwen had done. So all of them were connected. They had all commented on and shared the story of this girl who committed suicide live on the internet. And that was his 15-year-old daughter named Lucy. Now, right before the bad stuff, the crash, Joe had then turned to him and sort of mind-fucked him and was like, well, you got one to talk. I mean, why did she commit suicide? Some of it's probably from having a psycho dad like you. And I'm like, might be the last tick you'll ever get on somebody, but that was a burn. She's like, you got a lot of nerve blaming us for just commenting on it. Even if they were ugly and not nice comments, you obviously had something to do with your own daughter committing suicide because you're an asshole. So, and besides, you didn't even get Max, and then he kind of threw one back at her and was like, well, that's okay. I have his info. He will be tracked down and dealt with very harshly. So now we're back up to speed. She jumped out the plane crashed. And we see the voice telling, standing up. And he walks into a room, and it's Joe's daughter, that little girl. And he wakes her up, and he's like, hi, Lucy. And she's like, my name is Sophie. And he's like, not anymore. Your name is Lucy. And come with me. I've got some people for you to meet. And so she goes out there with him, and he introduces her to his sister and his sister's husband and his brother and his mother. So it's like everybody's in on it, right? And it shows them, walking away like a new family. So he did all of this as revenge for them watching his daughter die and not doing anything about it, if they could even. But this was all revenge on these people for having watched his daughter commit suicide. And also to basically kidnap, brainwash, because all the family members that he introduced the little girl to, they were calling her Lucy as well. So he has basically kidnapped a little girl to replace his daughter. And that's where the movie ends. Dad has Sophie and will raise her as Lucy, his new daughter. And it was very neat. I loved like I said, the parts where all these different people were killed, their relatives and friends and stuff. That was and all of them as well had been told and or commented about that suicide. So it was like super revenge. And he was, of course, going to crash that plane into altogether headquarters as revenge for being the platform that it happened on. So this movie really, I can honestly, there was a moment during this movie that I seriously considered being unsure about a social network. I was like, should I close my Facebook? Granted, it's all encrypted and secure, but this motherfucker had everything they had ever did. You know what I mean? So it kind of makes you wonder a little bit about your social network. You will have those thoughts while you're watching this movie. You will be like, so who would they see in my friends list? How many of them are just internet friends? How many of them are real life friends that I know? How many, if they randomly chose one, well, like on my Facebook, I'm not a friend collector, so I don't have a whole lot. But some of them are like real people I know, and then some are just that I've met through horror groups and things like that. And I'm like, what if they just randomly chose someone from my friends list to murder in front of me? That's not cool. I don't have a lot of really naughty internet secrets. There's not a whole lot that he could mess with me about as far as that goes. Oh, you downloaded a high-def copy of Prey? Oh, that's about the baddest thing I've done. So, yeah, I'm that boring. But, yeah, it does make you question the social network thing. Watching this kind of crap go on, especially that choosing friends at random to kill, to make you, it's like, I don't know, man. If somebody chose me on somebody's friends list and they chose me, that motherfucker might not even give a shit. It might just be like, who is that? Oh yeah, I friended him. You can kill him. I don't want you to kill him, but you could kill him. I don't really know him. I just met him through a horror group somewhere. So do the people that have you on their friends list really know you? Would they in a situation like that, would they give a shit if you were tied to a bed with fixing to get macheted or not? It's probably the determination of whether they're real friends or not, yeah. But I really like this movie. It's definitely it's definitely worth having. It's very unique. It's kind of a lot like that British movie called Truth or Dare, which is extremely hard to find. I can't get my hands on it. Not the American one, Truth or Dare, and not the Madonna concert documentary. But there's a British horror movie that's kind of like this, revealing your secrets, some friends, and revenge. called Truth or Dare. I would love to get a hold of that. Every time I check, it's either nobody or one person selling it for $195,000. So it's very hard to get a hold of. But yeah, Panic Button, Massacre at 30,000 Feet. It would definitely make you think. I think it was very well filmed. It really reminded me a great deal. The murder scenes look just like Unfriended Dark Web. I mean, and they were gory, like that shotgun to the head. So it's definitely, and this is the Phase 4 film. I found 3 like other Phase 4 films that I want. Butcher Boys, Dark Room, and House of Good and Evil. I found them, and I've got them on my wish list. I'm going to buy them next shopping trip. So, yeah, this is a Phase 4 film, and I got 3 others of theirs I'm fixing to buy. But, yeah, I really liked this. So if you do see it somewhere, want to check it out, it's very, very... I love the twists. Max not being Max. That was cool. That was good. And the whole thing makes you uncomfortable, to tell you the truth. I just felt uncomfortable. I'm like, man, to be in that situation, somebody asking me questions, and then you're like, no, I've never bought genital wart cream. And then they're like, here's your receipt. It's like, you made that up. I did not buy that. I thought they were going to show like a sex toy, like with Dave, when they were like, what is the last purchase you made? And I was like, oh no, they're going to bring up like a dildo or something. Bring it up. But, just imagine. Use your imagination. If you're being asked these questions, what could they find out about you? Would you tell the truth? And if you didn't tell the truth, what truth would be told in front of a bunch of strangers you did not know? So, yeah. Panic Button, Massacre at 30,000 Feet. If you've seen this movie, let me know what you think. If not, this is a little indie gem. I really, really liked this movie. It definitely kept me engaged up till the very end minute. When the screen went black, I was just like, I like that. That was pretty cool. Let me sit back. I got some things to think about. I'm not going to delete my Facebook, but I damn sure would think about it. It's like, I don't know. It's really cool. It's got a lot of commentary on social network culture, is what I'm saying. There's a lot of commentary about that world. So yeah, if you get a chance to see or buy for your collection, Panic Button, Massacre at 30,000 Feet, I would really suggest you do that very thing. And I will see you in the next one. Next will be my update video. Love you, miss you. Bye-bye. And always remember, never forget, you're a very, very wonderful person. Don't let anyone ever tell you differently or they are lying. Because they are lying. You know they're lying. You are a wonderful, special person. Thank you for anyone who takes the time to check it out, watch me. I appreciate it very, very much. I'm just a movie lover who just likes to sit and talk about movies. That's all. Not asking for anything else. I will see you in the next one. And keep screaming, but only when appropriate. And keep rocking very, very hard. Bye-bye.